This is a short video for Chapter 3. The big difference here is we're going to be writing the output to a file. We're actually going to ask the user to input a date in a specific format, a high and a low temperature for that day, and then compute the average and then write the date and the average to a file. So I want to start a new project. I'm going to call it temperature video. Then I've got to be sure I click Application Settings, Empty Project, and then I need to add my .cpp file so that I have an edit window, and I'm ready to go. I'm going to start with my header files. We'll just keep adding header files all semester. I do need IOStream because I'm going to ask the user to input from the keyboard. I also need the string header because my date is going to be in the string format, so I have to use it. And then the new header file for Chapter 3 is the one for file processing, and that one is called fstream, so I need to include fstream so I have access to the file input and output capabilities. My namespace, of course, is the same, the standard one. And then I'm ready to start my main function, which is always called main. No parameters and a curly brace to start the block of code. So the first thing, of course, is to actually declare my variables, high and low for my average, for my high and low temps. And then I'm going to use average and initialize it to 0 so that I know that memory location has nothing in it, because I am going to compute the average. Then I need a string variable excuse me, that I'm going to call date for the user to input the date. Then I am going to actually declare a handle, if you will, rather than a variable, although it's very much like a variable, of ifstream type. Excuse me, that should be ostream type. That's the output. ofstream. And I'm going to call it, and this is user defined, data out, so it's there when I need it. Then I'm ready to prompt my user to enter the date, but I'm going to give them a format so they know how to actually type it in. And I'm going to use 99/99/99, so they know to do it in this format. And then I'm going to read it in from the keyboard, and it is my string. Then I'm going to prompt them again to enter the high temperature, and read that in and store it in the variable high. Then I'm going to prompt again to enter the low temperature, and read that in to low, which gets all my data in. And so the next thing is to compute the average. So average is going to be set to, and I've got to force the math here. I want to add high plus low before I divide. So I've got to use parentheses to override the order of operations possible so that no corruption can occur. So this is data out, that's the name of my file handle, and then the dot operator. And I get a shortcut list here showing me what options are available to me, and open does take parameters. What it takes is the fully qualified path. So I'm going to put this in the root of my C drive. I need 2 backslashes, one to tell C that this is not really an escape operator here, but I really need a slash for the path. And I'm going to call this average temp, that's the name of my file, with a .txt extension. And then I'm going to close my string and then close my argument list with a parenthesis. So I've opened my file. Now I'm going to print to it using data out rather than C out, because I'm redirecting where this information is going. So I need to label it. So the date is going to come first, and then the variable date, which will print out the current date that's stored. Then I'm going to use a \T, the tab for 5 spaces, and label the average temperature. And that's stored in average. Then the last thing is to close the file. That's a data out. Again, the dot operator, and close is an option. It is a method, but it takes no argument. So it's just an open close parentheses. Then I need to do my return 0 here to end my function main and close the block with a curly brace. So I'm ready to build solution, and I'm looking for build succeeded at the bottom left of the screen as soon as it's finished compiling, and I got a build succeeded. So I go to debug, start without debugging, and it's prompting me first to ask to input the date in this format. So 04/15/10 is my date. The high temperature today 85, low temperature today 57. And press any key to continue because our output is going to a text file on the hard drive. So I can close the window. In order to see my output, I'm going to open up my C drive, which as you can see here, and I'm looking for the file average temperature, and here it is. This is the file that I just wrote. So when I open it, it shows me 4/15/2010 with an average temperature of 71. So it did do what I wanted it to do. So you've seen a little bit about file handling in this program. Remember that the source code is in the same folder with the video, and it is called Chapter 3 Video.